and dark green that are like YB and GR and like whatever the hell. Those are actually high def cables. The ones I'm talking about are like, they go up to 480i, I think, if even that much. But yeah, I had all that stuff routed, so I could have my PS2, my GameCube, my Dreamcast, my original Xbox, whatever other, N64, which I put in the attic recently, so that's not even a thing anymore. I had that daisy chain through, and then I had my PS3, my 360, PS4, and Wii U, all going through basically now one source. So when I want to change outputs, it's as simple as tapping a button, and it's freaking amazing. I wish I had done this a long time ago, but, you know, now I've done it, so I don't have to do it again, hopefully, for a long time. Is there a way to privately donate? Just curious. If you donated through my Indie Impressions site, I don't believe it shows up here. Since the link that I have on the page is actually routed through StreamTip, so that's what triggers the notification to pop up on the stream. But if you go through the PayPal link that's on indie-impressions.com, that just goes directly through to PayPal without going through StreamTip. So you would still get potentially a notice on the website if you wanted one, but you can also, I think, set it to just anonymous as well, so it doesn't actually put notifications anywhere, you know, if that was a thing that someone was into. I used to have all the donations go through indie-impressions.com, but, like, StreamTip makes it so much easier. Like, there's actually analytics and stuff, so, you know, I find that pretty helpful. As well as, like, I just have a nice interface to be able to see what happened when. You know, not that PayPal's that bad, but it's nice to have something a little bit more, excuse me, streamlined than that. Apparently, component is 5 colors, composite is 1. If you're just counting the video, I think so, yeah. Man, I knew this stuff for a fact, like, a year ago, and now it's, like, kind of wishy-washy in my head. This level is taking me far longer than I would have liked. It's the freaking moving elements, like, I don't like that. I want to just do the best that I can to jump through difficult shit. And the only challenge should be not so much timing, but just my ability to jump. But I shouldn't complain. There aren't really traps in this game the way that there were, so, you know, I have it a lot easier than I could have. Ooh, okay. Alright. Now, I gotta go through this. The freaking angle is so annoying. Maybe the angle is, like, a hard turn. Maybe I just need to just hold down the button and it's just gonna take me right through it. At least I can make it through the first part fairly reliably now. I mean, every little thing that they teach you how to do, it's like you're actually getting little skills that should hopefully hold through. The only problem is the game is so difficult that you don't tend to play it in long bursts, so a lot of the stuff you learned earlier on probably gets forgotten or not used ever again. Because there are, like, pretty diverse levels in this, I would say. Which is good. I mean, you don't want it to all just feel like rote repetition. Doing so good at this level, mate. Yeah, I know. Kappas and Frankerz's are definitely required here. How did they pay at GameStop, and did they enjoy it? Oh, well, okay, sure. We can answer questions like that. Pay at GameStop is a difficult thing to talk about because I actually started my employment with Electronics Boutique, the particular one that I worked at became an EB Games. And then eventually, when they merged, became a GameStop, but not all EB Games became GameStops in the whole country, just, well, most of them, with the exception of many of the ones in Canada. So when I had started working at, I guess just think of it this way, I'll use it interchangeably. If I say GameStop, I mean EB Games or Electronics Boutique, because it's all the same thing at this point. So when I started working at Electronics Boutique / GameStop, it was minimum wage, which at the time in New York, I'm trying to remember what that was, like $7.75 or $8, something close to that. And I did get raises, you know, every season, or every year, I should say. because I was hired on as a seasonal, and thankfully they kept me because they didn't have to, and I ended up staying there for a very long time, as I'm sure you probably heard the stories. And each time I would get, you know, a raise every year. It would be a pretty small one, but at least it kept me interested in, you know, sticking around. And it felt like I was making some sort of upward progress, and I did get a few promotions throughout my time there, which did help a little bit. But the thing is, the minimum wage kind of kept rising at the same speed that I was getting promotions and getting raises at, so, like, I made more money, but, like, new hires were also making almost as much, which was very frustrating, and I'm not really sure how that works. And then eventually I did get a bigger promotion that was, like, a more substantial increase in pay, but even then, you know, I was talking about, like, 11 and change per hour, which is not a ton when we're talking about like 2010-ish. So yeah, I didn't do fantastically well money-wise or anything, but I did try to save everything I could, and I was also paying my way through school at the time, so I was going to school full-time while also working full-time, which, you know, that's just kind of how that whole thing tends to go a lot of the time nowadays. But, you know, I did what I could at the time, and I worked way more than I probably even wanted to, but, you know, I'm also aware that I had a pretty good scenario going on, and a lot of people have it much worse than that, where they have to work multiple jobs and junk like that just to stay afloat. I did have some privileged stuff going on in that respect, so... how old at the time? When I started working there, I was 18, so, like, just out of high school. And, well, wait, was it 18 or 19 at that point? Out of high school, I was I 18 or 19 when I graduated? I think I was 18. But my birthday's in June, so... I can't remember which side of it falls on, that's the thing. Whatever, I was 18 or 19, doesn't matter. I could drive by that point, I guess is really the only factor. And then I had started college right in the fall of the year after I finished high school. So I didn't actually take like any kind of break or anything. I just went straight into school and then stayed in school for the entirety of my career at GameStop, actually. Yeah, I started in 2003, and then I did a 2-year degree. I finished that in 2005, and then I started at a 4-year degree at another school. I transferred over, the idea being that the 2-year degree would transfer into the 4-year degree, and then I would just have to do 2 years. But because of the amount I had to work, there were times that I worked full-time and went to school full-time, but there was also times when I worked... Actually, you know what? I don't think I ever went to school part-time. I just went to school full-time, but at the minimum number of credits. So it actually ended up taking me 4 years to do a 2-year, 4-year degree, if that makes any sense. So the transfer credits that I had should have taken me 2 years, but I made those 2 years take 4 because of how slowly I had to go to school. Like, if I could have taken 15 or 18 credits or something, that probably would have made a big difference, but I couldn't. Anyway, yeah, that's my story, and eventually I decided to leave GameStop. I was going to go do freelance design stuff. Got a kind of a bad deal with that, ended up getting ripped off by somebody really badly, and figured out I kind of wasn't interested in maybe pursuing that, despite having gone to school for graphic design. I kind of wanted to just, you know, be more true to myself and do what I actually, you know, love the most, which is work with games in one way or another, which was like kind of my outlet. Working at GameStop kind of was diffusing the fact that I guess I wasn't as into graphic design as I would have liked to have been. But I still made it work, I think. Wow, Nick, you look sexy. Thanks very much. But yeah, after I went through a little bit of a hard time trying to figure out what I was going to do next, and I just kind of got in this weird cycle of not really doing a whole lot, and then eventually started up, you know, the hobby of making Super Meat Boy levels, which eventually led to YouTube, and YouTube led to more YouTube, led to Twitch, led to me now. So, you know, that's kind of the progression path of things ever since high school. And now you know, if you didn't know already. And I'm glad that things went, well, many of the things that went the way they did went the way they did. There are some things that I obviously wouldn't have wanted to go the way they did, but... Damn it, Nick, I want to sleep tonight. Sorry, Grim Angel. love this. My question got answered. Yeah, no problem. I try my best. Sometimes if I miss a few things, because I'm just trying to pay attention to the game, feel free to, like, repeat a question as long as it's not spamming or anything. I don't mind trying to address whatever you guys are interested in as long as it's something I'm comfortable talking about. Oh my god, I thought I landed on the platform. I did not. Like to see you play some of the levels you made for Super Meat Boy? Sure. I mean, I've done that a few times. I think I've actually got videos on YouTube of me playing through them, and I think even commentating over them. Because originally it was just like a showcase video that I did, like, here's all the levels and here's me playing through them really quickly so people could see. But then I think I did for the Super Meat World series that I was doing, I actually went and played through them and narrated too. Because there were actually quite a few things that I had to talk about. It was a long process for the passenger specifically. I actually had a small group of testers that helped me make that chapter better, and it went through a lot of iterations before I got to the released version, and you know, if I was to go back and reiterate on it, I think there were still some things that I would have probably changed at this point too. How the hell do I get through that jump consistently? It's so weird. I don't know what the angle is that I need to go at. I'm trying. I promise, I'm not just throwing for the sake of throwing. I'm just, like, not getting the angle properly. Alright, there it is. Would you say SMB is your favorite game? I would say Super Metroid is probably my favorite game, but they're pretty close. Oh my god, that's such a bad jump. I went straight onto that. Have you and Rob Austin finally decided Magic is basically a podcast, so you should just stream it? We decided it was a podcast like 100 episodes ago. But we didn't want to stream it because it kind of defeats the point, you know? Like, we liked having it be just us, uninfluenced by the opinions of others at the time that we're having the conversation. And it's sort of just like hangout time, too. So if we streamed it, it would be a whole different dynamic, and then all of a sudden we would need to be shouting out stuff that's happening IRL, like, when it's happening, and, like, that's not bad, but it certainly changes the dynamic a little bit, you know? I like having the post conversation with the commenters as well, and that would all not be able to happen because it would all be, you know, live and all of that. But, you know, we've made decisions for why things are the way they are, and, you know, I'm not entirely sure how long the Magic series is going to go. It's one of my favorite things to record, so I kind of don't want it to end, but at the same time, I think there's probably better ways we could use our time that would accomplish the same goal. So, I don't know, it's in a perpetual state of flux, I suppose. Have you been playing Clicker Heroes a lot? Yeah, I mentioned that earlier when we were just starting up the stream. I was kind of obsessed with it. It was just today, I was in between doing tasks, and then I ended up freaking just throwing away 20 minutes on clicking on stuff. And I didn't realize the time had passed. I was just there passively spending the money that I had accrued just while I was offline. Or not watching it anyway. And I come back and it's like, yeah, spend this money, it's gonna take you a while, and you'll just stay playing it after that. I like that we finally put a label on the genre of those games. We're calling them incremental games, I believe. You know, it's about time somebody finally named them something. Okay, I'm getting a little frustrated that it's been this long, and I feel like I'm not much closer to finishing this level. The whole bottom part is, like, a nightmare for me. Because I've got to go through that middle part, like, in the middle of that jump. And, I mean, I get how to do it, but executing it is, like, 3/4 of the battle here. Not to mention the freaking choke point of that damn little canal that I've got to swim through. Not swim through, but slide through. Sometimes the hitbox is more gentle than I expect it to be, other times it's more stringent than I expect it to be. This is one of those times. Everyone just say Nick and get red chat going. He said he got ripped off in some graphic design deal or something like. I was curious as to what way he got ripped off. In any case, for insurance. Yeah, that's really all I said. Somebody stopped paying me when I was doing work. That's kind of all that was. I thought I had, like, a real good job at, like, a real studio for a while, and then it just kind of dissolved in front of me, and I was kind of sad about that. And cued a little bit of an existential meltdown, I suppose. I certainly could have handled it better, but I think it was part of a bigger picture that I also needed to face, too, so it was probably fairly necessary for things to happen the way they did. Incremental clicking games are just Skinner boxes, yo. Yeah, I know. But that's like the scientific way to describe them. I think we need something a little bit more in the colloquial sense, you know? Incremental is a more relatable word than Skinner box. Or description, I should say. It's not a word, it's a phrase. Favorite steak cut? I've never had that asked of me before. I don't even know. I like all kinds of steak. I never really thought about it that hard. Yes, I do own Simpsons Hit and Run. Oh man, we got a new donation incoming. Just let the music play through. It's a secret that Zamper27 just donated $5.69 with a message. Here's a little motivation, Nick. Hey, you didn't have to give me any motivation. I'm motivated enough, but I appreciate the donation just the same. And thank you very much. It is very kind of you to lend your support to the stream. Alright, let's do this, guys. I want to see a new level soon. At least this music's pretty chill. I do like that. Alright, there we go. This part scares me every time, though. You know what I'm gonna do? This is a little weird, but I'm gonna actually slide my monitor forward a little bit. I feel like I'm squinting to see it because the game screen's so small. Review How to Snooker by Nerd Cubed. What? I don't know what any of that means, but okay. Was it hard for you to start YouTube/Twitch? I'm thinking making a channel with friends. Oh yeah, it's definitely quite difficult. Well, I don't know if my experience can really give you a whole lot of information, though, because, like, I was very fortunate in that I had a lot of help. Oh, I hate that jump. But yeah, starting out, like, I had to do everything I possibly could to make some waves. And nowadays, though, I think things are even, like, way more saturated than they were when I was starting. And they were still pretty bad back then. It wasn't all that long ago in the scheme of things. I think some of my first videos were in around 2010. But it wasn't until 2012 that I started doing this every day. Alright, alright, alright. Now I gotta go through... Oh! GG! Get wrecked! Oh, progress feels so nice on my body. Oh, baby, cover me in butter. That feels so good. Oh, yes. Whew. Alright, I gotta have a sip of my all-natural Snapple brand peach iced tea. This stream sponsored by Doritos and Snapple brand peach iced tea. It's not, actually. I'm just fucking with you, but I do really like this Snapple drink, by the way. I just drink it all the time if I can. Dat product placement, yeah. You're so bad, gonna lock you up in butter jail. It's alright, I'll just slip right out. Alright, let's assess the situation. So we've got platforms that go into lava, and we've got spikes on the ceiling. But I can double jump and stay on these Oh, that was a little high, actually. Maybe don't do that. We can jump right across this and that and the other thing. What's up with these apples? Why are they... Oh, okay, I just have to jump over them. That's not a big deal. That might crush you, so I gotta watch out for that. Oh, what's up with this little half brick here? Okay. I can deal. I can hang. Got it. Oh, I like this level. This level seems way better than the other one. Alright, so I've got to do a really weird jump to get up above that. That's right where I need to be. So I got to go curve left, then hop and upright curve, then immediately jump over the arrow. And I probably won't have a lot of time to think about what to do next, so I should probably just dive in. You know what else I could do? I could stand right next to that apple, next to the Doritos in the ground, and then possibly just go for like a one jump right after that. Because I think diving right in, the timing's not going to work. I think I've got to do that. Wonder why don't you care about the voting link for your channel? Other streamers even less popular who got it and are higher in rankings. I don't actually know what you mean. Voting link? You mean like that Twitch streamer voting place? I don't even know what it's called. Somebody sent me a link to it one time, and I bookmarked it, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, I freaking hit the ceiling! Garbage town. I don't know. The reason I guess I don't care about that stuff is because I feel like I have a pretty good community going right now. And, I mean, as much as I am interested in promotion, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a big deal. It's like, I feel like things are going at an okay pace, so, like, you know, why make a big deal about it? Why add more promotion unnecessarily? I feel like I do enough pimping of things right now. I hate when it, like, gets on people's nerves that you, like, talk about. Oh, come on, drop the second jump like that. Hey Nick, I only just found your channel a few months back. I was wondering how you, NL, Josh, and Rob, for that matter, sort of teamed up as streamers. I know Foxman is involved somewhere. I'd like to understand the history. Well, I mean, I just kind of gave you a brief history of how I got started. But after I was doing those Meat Boy levels, I ended up kind of incidentally knowing of Ryan because he did a review of one of my chapters, rather, and that in turn made me interested in watching him. I ended up getting pretty invested watching his Isaac series, as many of us have, and eventually started talking to Kate, because I guess she liked my channel, and after a while that led to me sort of contributing questions, because I was a fan of Ryan's. I was basically contributing questions on his Saving Progress podcast, which was him and Josh and Mike, Foxman, for the uninitiated. So I think some of them got to know me a little bit from that. And we eventually got to talk more and more, and then we went to PAX together, and I stayed with him for that, for PAX East 2013. And the NLSS happened before that also, so that was a thing. Yeah, that's pretty much the history, and it's kind of gone from there. Super sad Fox and Josh aren't around anymore for, you know, general things all the time. But, you know, I'm happy they both have really good jobs and stuff. They don't really have to worry about it as much. But I miss them as friends. You know, it's really fun having them around and having a little community. And I feel like a lot of our community had fallen apart around when Mike started to vanish a bit. But I'm really still quite thankful. There's a lot of really fantastic people that I still get the chance to hang out with on a regular basis, and, you know, I wouldn't trade that for anything. No, I don't mind you asking. That's fine. I do Twitch and YouTube full-time. I have since 2012. I took a bit of a gamble on it. I wasn't sure it would work out. I got very lucky and had some fantastic support from people like you guys. That helped me stay afloat through the times when I was eating into my savings that I had from when I worked at GameStop. And it was enough that it kept me going through all of that, and then I was able to build up to get beyond it and still keep going. So, it was a very risky venture. I like Josh too. Josh is great. Oh, that was a second Steam. Oh, you just said it's honestly better without Josh on the... Oh, come on. Well, I mean, everybody's got a right to an opinion, but I kind of liked it better with him, because I just miss him. Rip Josh and Mom, the John in the Ghost World. Yeah, I spoke to Fox the other day on Twitter, so I'm... Oh, god damn it. The two of us are gonna do something together, I don't know what, though. I said I'd message him when I think of something. Remember that $600 donation? Didn't that end up going through or was fake? Yeah, it ended up getting canceled. I don't know if it was, like, a malicious intent thing, or, like, if there was honestly some kind of problem with the payment. I don't know enough information to really be able to comment, so I'm not interested in dragging anybody through the mud over it. It was very exciting at the time, of course, but, like, I also kind of understood that that could also be an element when that happened. Oh, I can't believe I freaking jump on the lava. Like, I can't handle jumping onto a big old block like that. Nick, was there talks about canceling the NLSS initially? No, no, not really. It's just kind of like a thing, right? Like, there's no reason to cancel it. It's already built up a presence, you know, it would kind of be going backward to do that. I admit it's not really the same show without Josh, of course, but, you know, I'd like to believe we can carry on. And maybe one day he'll come back. I really hope he will. When am I going to walk Bear through Metroid? I am pretty much available to him whenever he wants me. I will do what I can to make my schedule accommodate the Bear schedule. I love those guys. They're so nice. When I say those guys, I mean Bear and his wife. They're both fantastic people. Got to hang out with them a lot at PAX Prime, and it was some of the highlights of the trip, having them around. I just wish we all lived closer to each other, because I'd love to hang out with these guys a lot more. Oh no! Why did I fall so early? Waiting for the bear booty call, yeah. Bear booty. The thing about me walking people through Metroid is I try my best not to spoil the game most of the time, because, like, I don't want to deprive people of the sweet atmosphere and all of that. But I'm just kind of, like, there for the ride, and also in case somebody gets stuck. Kind of like what I tried to do with Dark Souls, but wasn't so good at. I think the NLSS format needs a bit of change up, not exactly sure what. Well, I mean, ultimately, it's kind of up to Ryan what he thinks is going to help the channel or help the stream. I'm still pretty happy doing Isaac at the beginning for everything. I wish there were more options for multiplayer games, but it's just not quite that simple. Oh, I freaking hit the ceiling again. I wish Gang Beasts had proper online multiplayer. I would play that a lot. I miss the trivia too, yeah, I really like that. And the giveaways as well were a lot of fun. I understand why it stopped, and it's not a big deal or anything, but it was cool to, you know, kind of give back to the community for a little bit, just for hanging out and being there. But it's also a bit of a nightmare logistically to set up, especially 3 times a week. If it was like a 1 time a week thing, it would be a little easier. But he did it every single show, and props to Ryan for keeping up with that schedule of being able to turn over games like that, because my goodness, it's a lot of back and forth and emailing and trying to make all that stuff happen all the time. I think half the time he ended up just buying the games himself, I'm not sure. Could do versus mode in Isaac. Is that a thing? Is that like a spider mod thing? Because I'm not even aware of that. I mean, I'm up for pretty much whatever, for Isaac anyway. I also need to get better at Cannon Brawl. Need to come up with like a few strats that win every time.